Hello there, my beautiful thinking people. Welcome back to this channel. As you know, this is Drumph 1. And this would be episode 6. Episode 6, we're going to discuss the situation surrounding Bernie Sanders for 2020. So first, go down there and hit the like button. If you haven't already, please subscribe to this channel. Let's help boost this channel to allow us to bring content that by subscribing, you will not miss in the future. Lots coming up, lots of information going to be put out from this day forth. We're going to do as many videos as we can. Looking still for a new editor, and as you can see, my studio remains the same, but my lighting has gotten a little better, so I hope that gives you a little better chance to see what's going on here. Also, having this in landscape I think is a bonus. So one of the things I like to discuss is Chuck Todd. We know Bernie has no chance of winning this nomination. He has no chance of winning the election. Trump is going to crush him like a bug in a rug. That's just speculation on my part, right? So, as we know, this is always an opinion channel based on facts. So, let's look at the facts. Chuck Todd gets on, totally shocked when he hears Bernie Sanders is the front runner. How could Bernie Sanders be the front runner? Okay, Chuck Todd has been around for a long time, and his little gig there has been pretty popular for many, many years. So we're all looking at Chuck Todd as somewhat of an authority on what's going on. And then we have, oh boy, all the MSNBC pundits trash talking Bernie Sanders. I mean, obviously they're going to crush his chances of going anywhere. Everything that they're coming out with day after day after day is in effect crushing Bernie's chances of winning the nomination and then going on to even attempt to defeat Donald Trump. Well, Donald Trump is just putting out money left, right, and center. He is popping ads in the right spots. He's definitely going to crush the Democratic candidate. Okay? So, we move on from there. What do we have? We have Mayor de Blasio endorsing Bernie over his fellow New Yorkers. You know that's going to crash. They're all going to say, how could you? How could you? You have a billionaire from New York who's grown up in this area, built himself from the ground up, and here you go throwing an endorsement to Bernie Sanders. Self-fulfilling prophecy. We'll see how that goes. We have Joe Scarborough and Mika Brzezinski on MSNBC. Commentators speaking truth about Bernie's chances. Go figure. Who would ever expect this to be a reality? But it is. They're actually speaking truth about Bernie Sanders. I mean, they're doing their best. I mean, they call him a socialist as well. But anyway, let's move on. We're also going to try to delve into Bernie trying his best in Texas. Texas being a very red state. Not only that, if anybody's going to do any good there, it's going to be either Bloomberg or Joe Biden. Joe Biden is a crossing the aisle kind of guy. He's a down-to-earth, like gun-toting, hunting kind of, Joe next door that you could easily take out and go for a beer. So, de Blasio money, Joe Biden popularity, but Bernie's doing his best, okay? Bernie appears to have recovered from that terrible heart attack or heart problems that he was experiencing, that he had to undergo surgery. Seems like he's getting there, okay? So let's break it down. Chuck Todd, I mean, all you can say about the things he was discussing is that Chuck Todd is suffering from either ignorance or alternative facts, or possibly he really, truly believes that somebody who has won Iowa and New Hampshire, leads in polling going into Nevada, and quite possibly going to also take South Carolina. If these things are put right in his face and he still says, Bernie, the front runner, you have to assume there's something amiss. Okay? Something amiss. I don't know what it is. Something's off there. Chuck Todd needs to check himself. So let's move on. All the MSNBC pundits just trashing Bernie. Why would they be doing this? It's not because Bernie is an insignificant, unelectable, horrible politician. It's because Bernie is the most electable. He's the most likable. He's the most honest, the most decent, and the only one who has never changed his tune for 40 years. He's also a gentleman who's capable of admitting when he made a mistake and apologizing for it promptly and sincerely. So, let's move on. Mayor de Blasio endorses Bernie Sanders. You would have thought absolutely that he would throw his support behind Bloomberg. Fellow New Yorkers, hang together, do your thing, move in the same circles. But no, he recognized something in Bernie that many others are recognizing daily. This is why Bernie is the triple threat. He's the one that Trump says he would most like to run against. And I'm sorry, but our man Drumph, he definitely has a problem with the truth. He has a problem with speaking truth. He has a problem with dealing with truth. He gets upset when the truth is thrown in his face. He makes up his own truths. So by him saying he would most likely want to run against Bernie Sanders, that's probably the one he never wants to meet on the stage. Okay, so let's move on from there. Joe Scarborough and Mika I'm very sorry, Mika Brzezinski, they actually told the truth about Bernie's stats and where he's moving in the polls. They also looked at projections and spoke truth. They didn't fudge the truth. They weren't throwing out false information to try to scare people or say, Bernie, that's socialist. He's leading in the polls. We got to do something to stop him. That was not their message. Their message was plain and simple. It looks like Bernie Sanders is leading in the polls. He's leading all over. He's leading in Texas. In Texas, among all the Democratic candidates, Bernie Sanders has Texas leaning his way. What were we talking about? Rust Belt, working class. They're all on Bernie's side. The only people that are not on Bernie's side are the elderly, who would also be protected and serviced really well by Bernie Sanders' policies by not cutting Medicaid and Medicare, Social Security, and coming up with health care for all. Again, sometimes it's very strange and it's difficult to figure out where people are coming from with some of the things they say and do and how they actually vote against their own interests. There's many people that do that. But That's everybody's prerogative. There is nothing wrong with having an opinion and following through with your opinion. Even if it's killing you, it's your decision to make. But you should want to make it from an informed stance. Learn about what Bernie wants to do for you. Learn about what some Justice Democrats and others of the sort really want to do for the American people before you make decisions on who to vote for. Just throwing your vote away by saying, well, I don't think he can win. He's proving that wrong. Everywhere he's going, he's winning. And he's not winning by dirty tricks. He's not winning by changing policies and making it more difficult for people to get to the polls. He's not jury-rigging the different districts and making sure that certain people can't vote and others can. What if Bernie went in there and said, okay, all the old people are going to count for one delegate, and all the rest of the people are going to count for the rest of the voting blocks? Well, then he would win hands down, because the only people that really go against him are those that are elderly, and they have, for some reason, a difficult time getting their head wrapped around when people call him a socialist. They're basically trying to equate him to old-time communism, which those people in the older bloc are terrified of. They lived through that. Drills of learning how to jump underneath tables to protect themselves from what, I don't know. A nuclear bomb hits, it's really not under the table that's going to save you. You need to be protected from the radiation blast. Okay? So, this is what's going down with MSNBC and Joe Scarborough and Mika Brzezinski. I really appreciate their truth and sticking with the truth and not backing down, even though they have people on their show who will try their best to demean the position that Bernie's in. They will still actually stick with the truth and say, well, this is what it is. This is what it is. So what are you people going to do if he comes the nominee? Will you allow him to get the nomination, or are you going to try to block him? And what's going to happen if you try to block him? People are talking about that. They're going, hey, if the Democratic Party structure, the establishment, finds a way to change policy in a way that blocks Bernie from winning the nomination, even though he'll get the plurality of the vote, that's going to be problematic for the Democratic Party. It's going to fracture. He got robbed once. The information had been uncovered, the plots that were brewing, the ways they were trying to stop Bernie from getting the nomination when he should have received it. They trashed him when he was an unknown, right from the beginning of the race, when he was down at 2%. And he grew and grew and grew, despite the nasty vitriol that was coming his way. Anyways, so that was the last election. If they do that again, I think they lose forever. The Democratic Party will be fractured and done for good. Perhaps Bernie ends up running as an independent, which he will get the people from the Democratic Party to at least make him a viable and serious candidate. He may not get enough to win. But you know what? If he gets Republicans to replace those Democrats, and if the independents realize that he's running as an independent and go, wait a second, that's where we live, the independents are the majority of the voters. Bernie, if the people are behind you and they try to block your path to the nomination, I hope you run as an independent and take all the middle independents with you, take all those Justice Democrats and those who want justice served on a platter with you, and take those Rust Belt Republicans who want jobs and want things better for their future with you, you will have a mass majority of the country on your side. You'll be unstoppable. Okay, let's move on. As I said, Bernie does lead in Texas, which if he's leading in Texas, and if he gets Nevada, and he gets South Carolina, bye-bye. Bye-bye, everyone. Bye-bye. Just drop out, because Bernie will have established himself as the real deal. Not Holyfield. The real deal Sanders. Okay? So, Bernie's health. My God. Everybody was on Bernie's health. He went in, had his procedure, and he is stronger than ever. He is going at breakneck pace. And every day looking better and better and better. More clear-headed. More capable of putting his thoughts together and bringing everything to the front. I am so looking forward to this debate. And Bernie, listen to me. You never give up. You never give in. And we all must keep an open mind, because knowledge is power. And we all must be prepared to empower ourselves by being open-minded and looking at the facts. Bernie, you're the real deal. Trump, sorry, buddy. You know I was one of the blacks for Trump, but I'm switching camps. I'm going on the Bernie train, because Bernie is the real deal. He doesn't lie to us. He doesn't talk garbage. He has no scandals. He is a genuine, honest broker. And you guys that are so terrified, you're still going to be able to make your money. Lobbyists are going to have a problem. They're going to maybe have to become, salesmen. Or something similar. But there's nothing wrong with that. There's no shame in being a salesman and actually going out and working for your money. But you're not going to be able to walk into politicians' offices and dump money on the table and say, do as we ask. That's not going to happen once Bernie gets in there. Whether it's by executive order or whether he gets the Democratic Party in the House to vote for his policy and crams it through the Senate by getting 12 or 10 or 11 or 15 new Democratic senators elected in the upcoming election. Then it's done. Citizens United, circumvented. I'm sure he'll be able to get all mayors, governors to vote with him for an amendment to the Constitution that will end Citizens United for good. Folks, I'm telling you all now, if Bernie Sanders isn't your man, you risk the future of democracy itself in your country. You risk the fairness of the judicial system in your country. And if you think that that risk is not going to come your way, that it's only going to deal with, their opponents, people that are against him. Oh, no, you're wrong. Because when he starts to take from you, you're going to be against him too. And guess what? It'll be too late. There'll be nobody there to fight for you. So, in closing, once again, I tell you folks, this is my model. Never give up and never give in. And keep your open mind, because knowledge is power. Don't sell yourself short. Hit that like button, subscribe, become a member. Lots more to come your way. Thank you.